Nigeria's foreign exchange earnings from diaspora remittance could take a significant hit after the passage of a new U.S. bill imposing a 3.5% tax on money transfers sent from non-citizens to recipients overseas. For countless Nigerians, remittances are more than just financial transfers. They are a vital source of support. These funds help cover education costs, fuel business growth, and contribute to the nation's economic stability. However, with the landscape evolving, this new bill could significantly impact the flow of money from the diaspora. How might it affect families, businesses, and broader government policies? We have Collins Nweke, Global Affairs Analyst, joining us now for the conversation. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Joanna. Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed. A pleasure. Give us a picture of the mind, if you can, or if you're in the mind of Trump. This bill, what are the intentions of this bill, and what are the details as well, specifically why this bill, why this tax?
Well, why this tax? Simply, Donald Trump, it is in line with Donald Trump's mantra of America first. That's number one. Number two, he finds a need here to, increase America's revenue, America's earning. And then he turned to something that has been there and increasingly gaining attention. Now, it's gaining attention because as of 2024, the last available figure, Nigeria's remittances from Nigerians in diaspora to Nigeria stood at 21 billion US dollars. And so, of course, inevitably, such figures will actually, catch the attention of, the US Treasury. And so he decided to do it now. Let's be clear about where we are because, this bill is not yet passed. It's not an act, it's not, it's still in the process. It has, however, passed the House of Representatives. And let's also remember that initially what was being proposed was 5%. Now it was then slashed to 3.5%. As we speak, Joanna, the bill is before the, the Senate. And so anytime soon, the Senate, may have, to give their own verdict. So that's where we are. The U.S. wants to increase, its, earnings, its income, and so diaspora remittance is then a target. And finally, on that, let's remember that it could have been worse. Donald Trump, considering his unpredictability, could have said that he is putting a stop totally to remittances, but that's not what he has said. He has simply said that it will be taxed presently at 3.5%.
So, from 5% to 3.5%, is America the only country that does this? Is this the first time this is happening?
Yes, this is the first time this is happening, and indeed you are right, Joanna, this is happening only in the United States, and that is actually what brings me to exactly why I believe that there is a little bit of overreaction. Because, when we talk of Nigerian diaspora and remittances, we're looking at a global sort of thing. We're not looking at just remittances from the United States of America. Out here in Europe, United Kingdom, for instance, there's a very, very large number of, Nigerians. Central and Western Europe, the same thing. So it's just a minor fraction, yes. We're looking at 3.5%. The estimate is that what it will mean is that out of the 21 billion that was remitted in 2024, about 735 million will be remitted less if this, bill passes Senate. So yes, it's happening only in the United States, and the fear that other European, countries and other parts of the developed world might follow suit, yes, is real, but pretty much unlikely.
Well, the bandwagon effect, we'll see whether or not that happens. But then we're considering the impact this will have on the Nigerian economy, considering how somewhat dependent a lot of families are and the economy somewhat. We're looking for all the dollars we can get, right, because of our FX position. So give us a picture of the impact that this will have, first of all, on the people, right? And the larger economy. So micro, macro.
Yeah, indeed. Let's start with the micro, and that's a very good place to start because obviously, it's all down to the everyday man and woman in the street. Remittances support basic needs like food, education, healthcare, for millions of Nigerians. So a tax, obviously, could translate into, for instance, difficulties in paying rent, difficulties in supporting kids in schools, their school bag, their books, and, so on and so forth. People then, things are hard enough in Nigeria. Now, it could even get harder because people would have to make choice between 3 square meal and 1 or 2 square meal. That cannot be palatable. Now, on the macro side, we're looking at, formal channels that will be hit as a consequence of this because, when one door closes and the door that is about to close is, that free flow of remittances from Nigeria, another door might open. And that door that might open is the informal ways of remitting money. We are even looking at, money laundering that could, get more illegal activities actually, setting in and so on and so forth. And that of course, will affect Nigeria's, foreign earnings and increase in, crime. So the macroeconomic vulnerabilities are much. Reduced remittances, of course, will weaken Nigeria's foreign reserves, and Naira, is already volatile, and so that volatility will actually exacerbate and may force government to seek, loans, borrowing more money, to and also increase perhaps domestic staff. So rather than increasing the tax base so that more people are paying, Nigerian government might decide to actually, increase the tax burden on the few that are already paying. So that's part of the macro, consequences that this might mean.
I mean, there's a lot to take in there, especially when it comes to more taxes. I'm not sure we're ready for that. But I mean, let's come to the alternatives that you are, presenting. You've highlighted the fact that this could mean those in diaspora and in America specifically, about 47.8 million. Will start heading towards the backdoor channels. So give us a picture of how this could perhaps even frustrate the CBN's efforts, right? We know that they have been trying to get things on paper, have all the records, have all the data, get people to come through more official channels. So, I mean, how does the CBN navigate all of this? And what does this also mean for digital assets as an alternative?
Well, let's start with the CBN. Their efforts in the last period must be commended because you will recall that recently a policy was unfolded at the CBN, which is the non-resident Nigerian BVN, bank verification something. So that was aimed at increasing or making it easier for Nigerians outside Nigeria to secure their BVN, with which opening of bank accounts and other financial transactions will be made easier. So that way, Nigerian government was actually estimating that about $1 billion US dollars will flow into the foreign reserve, flow into Nigeria as a consequence of that policy. Now, this has actually, if it goes through this, big, beautiful tax, according to Donald Trump, has one way or the other punctured, that policy. But of course, a policy realignment is always, important. Now, there are other things that, the CBN can do, because let's not forget, Joanna, that even before this tax regime was announced, we already know that out of the 21 billion US dollars that was recorded in 2024, more than 50% of that, and I'm talking of close to 10 billion, must have come in through informal channels. For instance, somebody is traveling to Nigeria, within my, network. I say, okay, I have this 1,000 euros. Please, can you give it to my family? It is not recorded anywhere. So what will happen with it is that people will look for such informal ways to go about this. And, CBN, what can they do? Start diplomatically, get NIDCOM, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, to churn out policy papers, get talking with the U.S. Treasury through their embassies and so on and so forth, in terms of negotiating. For instance, you can peg it to, let's say, small amounts, up to $200 per month, should be tax-free. And so once that happens, you will see that there will be a spread, and things the damage could be mitigated a bit more.
Yeah. So right now, there's no threshold. Even if it's $1, it could, from the proposal, it could be subject to that 3.5% tax. Finally, give us a picture of the lessons here for Nigeria, Nigerians in diaspora. What can we take from this? We leave our homeland, go to another country, earn their dollars, want to send it back. What lessons can we learn, from all this?
Well, like I said earlier on, Joanna, I think somehow there's a bit of, overreaction. Let's not begin to imagine that diaspora remittances is going to dry up as a consequence of, this big, beautiful tax by Donald Trump. That's simply not going to happen. Now, let's also remember that this bill is actually projected to go into effect from the 1st of January 2026. So there is a good 6 months for the brilliant Nigerian fintech, industry players to actually devise ways and means of one way or the other circumventing, this, tax. And then also, let's not forget that there is something called cryptocurrency, So these are all the sort of, ways and means that this could be mitigated or even circumvented in a very, very legal manner. So while this is a challenge, it is not, the last nail on the coffin of the Nigerian remittances. There is still a lot of resilience, a lot of, good things to look forward to.
All right, and look forward we will. Thank you very much for the breakdown, Collins Nweke, Global Affairs Analyst, for providing perspective to that.